Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make rum balls. These are a soft and chewy, no-bake confection that is especially popular at Christmas time. What I like about rum balls, besides tasting great, is that they're really easy to make and they actually taste better with age. So, to start, we only need 6 ingredients and we're just going to stir them all together in a bowl. So first you need 1.5 cups, which is about 150 grams of finely chopped nuts. Now you could use walnuts, pecans, almonds, hazelnuts, really any type of nut. And I like to toast them first because that really brings out their flavor. So to do that, just put them on a baking sheet in a 350 degree Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just until they start to brown and you can really smell the nuts, and then let them cool completely. Now, you could finely chop them just on a cutting board with a knife, or you could put them in your food processor. Just be careful to, when you're processing them, just to process them until they're finely ground. You don't want them into a paste. And then to that, I'm going to add 1.25 cups, which is about 125 grams of crushed or finely ground cookie crumbs. Now, traditional recipes tend to use vanilla wafers, but really you could use chocolate wafers, you could use shortbread cookies all crushed, digestive cookies, graham cracker crumbs, or even cake crumbs. You could really vary the type of cookie crumbs. Just have fun with that and just experiment. And then to that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup, which is about 60 grams of confectioner sugar. You might note that as powdered or icing sugar. It's for a little sweetness there. And 2 tablespoons, 15 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder. You could use the regular or the Dutch process, either one. As you can see, pretty simple here. Stir that all together. Now, to bind all the ingredients together, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. Now, you could use honey for this. You could use golden syrup, the liquid glucose. Just need something to help bind all those crumbs. And also 1/4 cup, 60 milliliters of rum. Since they're rum balls, we need rum, any type of rum. If you want to make bourbon balls, you just substitute the rum with bourbon. You could try with other types of alcohol. If you don't want the alcohol, you could use like an apple or an orange juice. This is a really versatile, I don't know whether to call it a cookie or a candy, but you can really change things up a lot with this recipe. Okay, now if you found, as you can see, this is binding together very nice. If you found it was still a little dry, you could, add a little more juice or even a little water, or of course more alcohol. Now I'm just going to cover this and refrigerate just till it firms up a little, because we want to roll it into little balls. So it's a little soft now. That might take maybe an hour. You could even do this the day before and let it chill overnight, but about an hour. Our batter is now firm, so now we're going to roll it into balls. Now, you could really use any size that you want. I'm going to roll them into about 1 inch, which is 2.5 centimeter balls. Now, I have a little small ice cream scoop, but you could just as easily use a spoon. And it's not critical that they're all the same even size. And then just roll them like that. So. Okay, so you get about 40, 45 1-inch rum balls. And now we're going to roll them in a topping. There are so many choices you could use. I have a few here. Finely chopped pistachio nuts. Of course, you could use walnuts, pecans, almonds, whatever type of nut. I have some chocolate sprinkles. You could use colored sprinkles, very nice. Some sifted confectioner's sugar, powdered or icing sugar, and I have some cocoa powder. So what you do is just very simply just roll in the topping. If you were giving these as gifts, it's nice. What I like to do is all different types of toppings like this so people can choose, almost like an assorted box of chocolates. Put it in a pretty box with a ribbon. It makes an excellent Christmas gift. You really don't need to give people anything more than this. And like I said, just put them in the refrigerator, and I find they're good for several weeks. And with the rum, it's kind of like a fruitcake. You know, you make it, they taste good, but you want to let it age, and that's the same, so that the rum can get in, mix in with all the other ingredients. So you get the idea of what I'm doing here. Let's do a few more. Make sure to sift your confectioner's sugar to get rid of the lumps, and the same with the cocoa powder. Now the other thing I'm going to show you, my favorite way to eat rum balls is to dip them in melted chocolate. So what I'm going to do is just place these rum balls back in the fridge just to firm them up, you know, maybe 15 minutes, and then we will dip them in the chocolate. So to dip the rum balls in melted chocolate, what you will need is a saucepan of simmering water, and then in a heat-proof bowl, I have placed 4 ounces, which is about 120 grams, of chopped semi-sweet, or you could use bittersweet chocolate, along with 1 teaspoon of either butter or shortening. And then we're just going to melt that over the heat till it's nice and smooth. Okay, so once your chocolate's melted, remove it from the heat, and then I'm just going to pour this in a bowl that's not as wide. Let's see what I'm doing here. Make it easier to dip it into the chocolate. Now you may have to vary the amount of chocolate you use depending on whether you want to just dip all of them in the chocolate or just some of them, or maybe you want to use different types of chocolate. So you just take a ball. Now there's quite a few different things. You could use a spoon, a fork. There's a actual candy dipping fork, or this round thing, and then just drop your rum ball in there, and then just lift it out, and just have a parchment lined baking sheet and just put it on there. So just drop it in, move it around, and then hold it up and let any excess drip off. As you can see, this little round candy, I don't know what you call that, but it's a pretty nifty tool. It's quick work. Now, as I said, you could use a fork as well. Let the excess drip down. There we go. Okay, so There we are. Now you could just pop these back into the refrigerator until they've hardened and leave them like that, or you could right now just put a little bit of nuts over the top, dress them up that way, or with the chocolate sprinkles. And the other thing which I'll show you is how to drizzle some melted white chocolate over the top. They almost look like little chocolate bonbons. So I'm just going to put these back in the fridge, maybe 10-15 minutes until the chocolate hardens. So we're now going to drizzle some white chocolate on our rum balls. What I've done is taken 1 ounce of white chocolate, and I've just melted it. I just do it in the microwave. You could do it in a heat-proof bowl over a saucepan of simmering water if you'd like. And then you will need a pastry bag. This is just a disposable one. Or you could just use a small Ziploc bag, and then you just cut off the tip. So I'm just going to put it in if you put it in a glass, it's easier to pour in the chocolate. And if you didn't want to use white chocolate, you could use milk chocolate or even just drizzle it with more melted either semi-sweet or bittersweet. This really dresses the rum balls up, especially if you're going to give these as a gift. I mean, they really look professional looking. So just down to the bottom there. Move that out of the way. And then you just want to cut off just the tip, because we're just going to do a little zigzag pattern over the top. Now, if you're new to this, what I usually do just to get the hang of it is just have a plate, and then you can see whether you've cut enough off. I think I need to cut a little more off of there. And then twist, and this is what we're looking for. So if you want to just practice, although if a few mess up, that's the cook's treat, right? We need a few. So just back and forth like that. You can put as much or as little as you want. I just go more over the side, waste a bit, but that way you get a real nice, neat zigzag. Like I said, you could use other types of chocolate. So there, you can just finish that off. Now you just pop these back into the refrigerator for about 15 minutes, just for that white chocolate to harden. And then you could put them in your storage container, and you could put them in the fridge. Now they will last, I find, 3-4 weeks even. So this would be perfect for Christmas because you can make them well ahead of time. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.